by Allison, our fellow brat, Allison Summer. She asked me, what are my favorites? Anything. So I immediately went to books. Cookie Mueller, Walking Through Clear Water and a Pool Painted Black. Really long title to remember. So Cookie, this woman, was friends and colleagues with John Waters. She was in a lot of his earlier films, like Pink Flamingos. And in fact, she's the one that has sex with the chicken in Pink Flamingos. She has one of the most fascinating lives I've ever heard, and she writes directly from her raw experience. It is not flowery, but it is gorgeous, and it's so dark and so funny, and she's just a treasure. I treasure that book. I've read it more times than I can even count, because it's like 150 pages, but it's short stories, and it is fantastic. Manual for Cleaning Women by Lucia Berlin is another great collection of short stories. She is a fascinating life as well. It's worth reading her kind of biography. Actually, I have it, I think. Evening in Paradise, I believe it's called. This one? Cute cover, right? So it's kind of about her life. She had a really, just trust me, I'm not going to go into it, but she's cool. Daphne du Maurier, Rebecca, classic. Ghost story, love story, mystery, fucking awesome time period in history. Alfred Hitchcock made a movie. It's not as good as the book, okay? Maya Angelou. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. It's the fucking saddest biography of all time, but it's amazing. She's whatever. I don't need to say anything else about it. She's the shit. Donna Tartt, Secret History, is one of my favorite books. I've read this a couple times as well. It is just unlike anything I've ever read. A really interesting story about classism and about, psychopathy. She's a really fantastic writer. She also wrote The Goldfinch, which is amazing as well. And I really hope they don't fuck up the movie for that. Anyway, what else do I got? Oh, Patty. Just Kids by Patti Smith. What the fuck? This book, so good. She's the best. Oh, and this one, I do have a token man in the bunch. Bill James, Man from the Train. So I love true crime. I kind of feel shitty about how much I like it. That being said, Bill James and his daughter wrote this book, and they investigated this crazy serial killer in the early 1900s. It's fucking awful, but they actually solve the case, and I believe they're right. They solve the case, find out who this guy was. Of course, the fucker's dead. It's a fascinating background to what criminology was at that time period in the United States, how important it was that J. Edgar Hoover started the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So anyway, those are my jams. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but these are ones that I saw on my shelf that I was like, ooh, anything that's a baby puppy?
Baby wiener dog. Baby Pomeranian, number 2.
Baby Chihuahua, number 3.
Thanks, Allison. Ryan asked, what is my idea of a perfect pizza? Wow. There is a little place called John's Pizza Cafe in St. Paul that is the kind of place that doesn't have the fucking zip code or the area code before the rest of the number, okay? Like, it's deep St. Paul, and it's amazing. Now, I am pretty much dairy-free. I don't eat meat, so I loosely call myself a vegan, but technically I'm a cheese pizza vegan. I take my little dairy pill, and I get a beauty like this. Oh. It's perfect. It really is. I got 1/2 cheese, feta, a little bit of feta, a little bit of mozz, green olives. This is my favorite album of 2019. It is Karen O of the Yeah Yeah Yeahs and Danger Mouse of Danger Mouse Badassery. Lux Prima is the record. What's up, me? Woman, what's up, me? Check this out. Gotta love that girl group sound. Fucking kills me every time. And then my favorite book of 2019. Wah, wah. Mr. Know-It-All by Mr. Know-It-All himself, John Waters, who I love very much, and is also my birthday twin, fun fact. Anyway, thank you, Tom. I think that it would be fair to assess there are a couple of heavier songs on Pleasureland. This is like this sound comes up, it's like this. Yeah, it's coming through the speaker. It's gonna bite your face. But I'm not gonna pretend that Pleasureland is the same. It's not. That's the point. That was how I was feeling at the time. I felt powerless in my life. I felt powerless in this toxic political climate that we live in. And everything felt really scary. And I couldn't fake it. I couldn't fake writing a love story or writing about my own fucking white sadness. I couldn't. I can't do things that I don't feel. I've always loved playing piano, but I've never really dedicated myself to it as much as I did the 2 years of like writing and producing Pleasureland. And that was really good for me. There is something so very human and something so very deep about conveying your feelings without spoken word. It's powerful. So I wanted to play a little bit of a demo that is gonna end up on my next record. You guys can hear this and see for yourself. Okay, so there's a little sneak peek. I'm super excited. I think it's a good song. It's catchy and it's simple. But then I also am working on this song. It's actually based on an older song of mine that was just like a minute long, just vocals. So. No more spinning, no more spitting down. The window's open wide for you. Give me one key, hell up and down. You don't owe me anything. Birds are always singing. Birds are always singing. Birds are always, always, always. Birds are always singing. Gotta have a sad song. Otherwise, it's not a Haley record. You have a little bit of an idea, because I don't like to give myself away. I want to surprise you, even if it's something you don't like. That's what I do. I'm a provocateur. Okay, baby, artist, baby. Okay, anyway, thanks, Chris. Simon. Hi. Mother, you had me, but I never had you. I needed you, you didn't need me, so I just gotta tell you goodbye, goodbye. Fucking John Lennon, bro. I just have to go by, like, what Beatle, post-Beatle how many songs did I like of theirs? And although I really like George Harrison's solo stuff, I think Paul McCartney's stuff is alright, but Plastic Ono Band, John Lennon, it's one of my favorite records of all time. So that's that. Laz, I got a level with you. I watched The Breakfast Club for the first time when I was like 27 years old. I'm not kidding. I missed that whole like John Hughes craze. I caught John Hughes with Home Alone. That was and like, did he do Uncle Buck? I like that one too. I watched that when I was a kid, but anyway, so I would be lying to you if I told you what character I was because I don't know them. But I think that Molly Ringwald is hot, and I think that Emilio Estevez is hot. So, yeah, maybe I'm their baby. If they had a baby, then I'd just be like the hottest baby. Okay. Maybe I'll watch it again someday. Anyway, thank you for asking, and hopefully this at least entertained you. Bye. It takes one way to find out who your friends are. Why did I go to the G? How about F? Yeah, I like F, it's better. But then maybe we'll go back to the C. People scored. F again. Where are your friends? Where are your friends? Back to the C. Now the G's friendly. Where are your friends? Where are your friends? Now that is how you write a song. Well, buff my boots. Our friend Danica asked who my favorite teacher was in school or in life. The first teacher I thought of was my therapist. The second teacher that I thought of was my high school English and advanced English teacher. I had her 2 years. Miss Ritchie. She was a really great teacher. She used a lot of like Buddhist beliefs, kind of infiltrated that into our lesson plans and writing and stuff. She was also really encouraging of my writing. And she was kind of my friend, which is not super appropriate. Like I went over to her house and stuff. Anyway, she walked in on her husband and her best friend doing it. And she, without a word, ran and got a baseball bat and ran after them. They like fled the house screaming out onto the street of really nice homes that they lived on. And I just really cherish that scene in my mind of two naked people and then my crazy ass English teacher with her huge glasses and her huge eyes and her crazy brown hair. Yeah. So she had kind of a breakthrough after that, and became an avid Queensryche fan. And she started riding motorcycles, and she got a boyfriend that was a motorcycle rider, and they traveled around to different rallies across the country. And she went to Burning Man a bunch and told me about Burning Man. And there's the metaphorical teacher, like my daughter, having a daughter taught me a lot. Addiction taught me a lot. I've also had a lot of amazing teachers who are musicians that are my friends, and the list could go on for that. Also, just happen to have this sitting here. This lady taught me a lot. I Love Lucy was my favorite show when I was a kid. I just thought I related to her so much. Just kind of a goofy, misunderstood, funny, weird, loud redhead. Or at least she was like what I felt like on the inside. She was not like that in real life, which I think is awesome. So anyway, thanks for asking, Danica. Alex asks what I mean by eat for free in the song Eat for Free. Or sometimes that's your compensation, is just a meal and then you play a show. Nowadays, it's more like you get 50% off and like a good luck with your career kind of thing. How celebrities and kind of like super well-known or wealthy people often are given things for free just because of their status, which is, I always find really interesting. The United States is kind of this this superpower, and we really regard ourselves as such anyway. And there's this, kind of sense of entitlement that, we're well fed. We, no one's starving here. We're all good to go, and we take really good care of our people because we're a superpower. We put on this show. People are kind of hanging on to each other in really wild and or dangerous circumstances, and eating for free and putting on a show, sort of like this, everyone thinks everything's great on the outside, looks good on paper, and everybody's got a fucked up story behind the walls. So the fact that the verses are really like pretty visual and, heart-wrenching in a way, versus this image of kind of this big family at a restaurant, just shoving food in their faces and knowing the kids get to eat for free, those little bastards. On that note, like, eat for free could also be dine and ditch. Have you ever done that?
Anyway, thanks, Alex.
Well, I quietly stroll through the air. All your little jokes, any smoke from any on fire, keep my trash